Hey guys, Nick from KN Tech, welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. It's not necessarily revolving around PCs and computers and that kind of thing, and it's going to be more involved in modding of things that I've got. You know, making changes to cases to fit things in and that kind of thing. So many of you have actually made a comment in the past about this little guy. His name is Vector. He's a little robot that roams around my desk, and he comes around and he makes noises and he interacts with me, and he's just a cute little guy to have kicking around. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be modifying his charging dock so that he can actually see how to find it if he comes out and wanders around in this room at night, because at the moment sometimes I come in the morning and I find him just sat on the desk where he ran out of charge. Stick around guys, we'll see how it turns out. So this little guy is called Vector. He's made by a company called Anki. Unfortunately, Anki went bust a couple of years ago and they were taken over by a company called Digital Dream Labs. I'll stick a link to their website in the description down below. So he's basically a little interactive robot which you can have a chat to and you can speak to, you can ask him questions, and he does the odd cool thing here and there, and he'll come up and give you a high five and maybe do a few tricks for you. Let's see him do a few things right now. Hey Vector, come here. Hey Vector, high five. Hey Vector, you are a good robot.
One of the best.
Hey Vector, do a wheel stand. Hey Vector, tell me the weather.
12 degrees and cloudy.
Hey Vector, what's the current price of Bitcoin?
On Bitcoin is 60,939 US dollars and 40 cents.
Hey Vector, go home. Hey Vector, go to sleep. So as you can see, he's a cute little guy. He's fun to interact with once in a while, and he keeps me on my toes because he seems to like pushing my phone off the desk every time I put it down. Anyway, the main reason for this video is if you take a look at his charging station, you can see that it has a little house and a line on it, and that's how he can find his way home. The only problem is when I finish in my room and I turn the lights off in the evening, he has no way of finding out exactly how he's going to be able to get home if he decides he wants to go out for a little mooch during the night. This can be a problem because every once in a while I come in and I've seen him actually sitting on the desk completely without charge where he hasn't been able to find his way back to his charging station. So what I'm going to do is I've got one of these small little LEDs that is powered by USB, and I've managed to get offline and managed to get one of these little USB sockets here and a couple of small USB cables. What I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and modify the house so that I can actually put this at the top here like this, so that it's actually going to light up his little charging station when it's night time. So I'm going to be taking this apart and I'm going to be cutting a small hole in the back of it at the top here for the cables to come out. I'm going to attach those to the power cables that goes into the charging station from the USB cable, and then hopefully I'm going to be able to bond it all on here either with some glue or with some sticky pads to begin with, and that way if ever he wants to go out for a little mooch in the evening and when it's dark, he can find his way back to his charging station because he'll be able to see it. So I'm going to get this opened up now and we're going to see how we can actually go about making these changes and getting this actually attached to the docking station. Okay, so I'm going to switch over to my top-down camera so you can see what I'm doing on the desk down here. And we're going to keep little Vector running around here, just, you know, because he likes to get involved. He likes to get into things. So I'm using my iFixit kit to be able to take this apart. And if we turn the bottom of it over, we can see we've got 4 screws here. And I'm just going to take those 4 screws out, and that's going to show us what we've got on the inside, so we can see how we can actually get this attached. Yeah, you can see he likes to get involved. Alrighty, so let's take this off and see what we've got on the inside. Okay, that looks fairly easy. So what we've got a plain top here, which is where the actual printing is for that he looks for to try and find the way home. And what we have is really simple. What we have right here, we can see we've got the power cable coming in, and it's just simply a positive and a negative on there. And these are the prongs that he actually sits on when he actually goes and sits on his charging station. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 2 wires that I've already got here. These are 2 small USB wires. I'm going to solder those onto these existing wires here, because that's going to give me the 5-volt USB power supply that I want. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the other end of those and I'm going to attach them to this. Now this is a little tiny USB socket, breakout board if you like. So I'm just simply going to attach those to here, and then what I'm going to do is drill a little hole in the top of this to have the wires come out, and then I'm going to find a way to stick this and the light on the top of here like this, so that way he can see how to get home. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done, and we'll take a look at it when I've got it finished off. So a quick move down to my garage, and you can see I've managed to take the top off, and I've actually managed to solder the wires onto the 2 existing terminals here where the USB comes in at the back. So what I'm going to do now, I've drilled a hole already in the top of the case, and you can see right here I'm going to just put those cables, they're going to come up through there, and then I'm going to somehow attach that little light to the front of that there. So that's the cables now peeking up through the top of the case. Now I just need to solder them onto this and then attach that to the front of here. Okay, so we're back up in the office, and you can see if I lift this right up to the camera here, you can see that I've got the hole with the cables coming out to the top. I have those soldered on right there. I'm obviously going to trim off the ends of the cables before I actually finish it up. And if we open it up inside, you can see those cables actually go onto the existing positive and negative cables. So all I have to do now is trim this up, and I'm going to use a little bit of double-sided sticky tape to mount this to begin with until I'm sure it's actually going to work. And then what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to use like a hot glue or something like that to hold it in place. So let's go ahead and get these little bits of cable trimmed off first real quick, just so that it looks a little bit tidier. And then I'm going to go and grab some double-sided sticky tape. But first let's have a little quick test and make sure it's going to work. So I'll plug in the USB power one more time, and if we pop this into here, what we should see hopefully is this should, there we go, and you can see we have a tiny little USB light that's going to shine down on here. And I'm going to attach that onto the back here, just like that. And then what that should allow me to do is peel off the double-sided backing like that, pop this back in there like that, and that should let me mount this just there like that. What that should do is once we've got that on there, we can see that's going to light that up like that. Awesome. So now all I have to do is put the screws back in the bottom of this, turn the lights out, and we'll see if he can find his way home. Okay, let's fire him back up, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off all of these studio lights that I've got here that's lighting up the room. I'm going to close the door and kind of simulate being nighttime, and then we'll see how it works. Okay, so I've turned all the lights off here where I do my filming, and you can see it's actually lighting up quite brightly. So I'm hoping that he's going to be able to see that and try and find his way home. So usually if this wasn't on, let me just unplug that for the minute. That's what it would look like, and it always looks brighter on the camera than it is in real life, but that's actually really quite dark. He can't find his way home with that because I've often found him on the desk in the morning without a charge. So I'm just going to pop that light back on again and see if I can get him to go home. Hey Vector, go home. Hey Vector, go home. Oh well, there you go guys. That just goes to show you not every plan actually works out. So I actually did try this out a little bit earlier on, not with it attached to the docking station, but I had it actually attached to my monitors behind me, and it was just sort of kind of shining down on the docking station, and that seemed to work absolutely fine. I think what the problem is because it's too close, it's reflecting on the white elements of the docking station, and it's kind of confusing him and not letting him pick it up properly. So I'm going to have another go at this somewhere down the line. Don't forget to hit the like button, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell notification. That way you won't miss part 2 when I hopefully get this fixed, and hopefully he's actually going to be able to navigate his way home during the night time when he comes out for a wander. Thanks for watching guys, I'll see you on the next one.